All right. Live from the wasteland here, the survival pod. This is Freedom Film. What's the topic today? Do dudes actually like dating? And I'm not saying they hate it, but really, it's really just like a job interview for sex. And if dudes actually like dating, then why is it that Chad and Tyrone, the Thundercock brothers, do you see them doing that? No. Women bring pussy like dominoes, 30 minutes or less. Where am I going with this? Freedom Phil, like, subscribe. Let's get into it. And hey, turn up the video speed. Why do I always say that? Because, man, watch videos faster. You should be watching this if I choose to upload at 1.75. And as always, this is not a channel for children. I talk about real things, real issues. I swear I cuss. I use language that you may not approve of. And if you're some kid watching my channel, you have shitty parents. They don't know what you're watching. They're out there like just farming off their parental duties to a screen because, my God, they're like, why are kids so dumb these days? I don't know, maybe because of shitty parents. No, it's the microplastics. It's the environment. No, it's shitty parents. And as always, if you're some spurg in my chat and you're not on topic or you're just a jackass, I will happily use you for content. I will happily, whether I time you out, block you, or just use you or flog you because you're being a fucking idiot. I will do that. And as for the small percentage of people that have thinking meat in there and that can stay on topic and actually have a real conversation, yeah, cool. Rest of you could Thanos snap out of existence. I wouldn't give a shit. Let's get into it. Yeah, when I look at the situation when it comes to a lot of the whole male-female relationships, the dating, I'm just being real about it. After I was watching this like short and it shows this guy and a woman's like, why do guys need 4 lightsabers? And I'm like, it's not my thing. So I'm like, yeah, what does it matter? Why do women need so many shoes was my first thought, and he's like, and this guy's like, because these things make me really happy. And she's like, yeah, but, and he's like, I would rather do this than go on a date. And he's like, whoa, because he's just having a nostalgic, fun moment. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I just started thinking, like, that's kind of sad. But then I thought to myself, no, maybe the state of dating's the sad thing. Really, maybe the state of dating. For those that don't understand, like the idea that isn't dating, if you're Chad and Tyrone, Grandmaster Chad, Tyronius Maximus, the Thundercock brothers. Like I said, women deliver you fucking pussy like dominoes, 30 minutes or less. They're swiping on Tinder like, ooh, look at that. Do you think the Thundercock brothers or the Legend of T-Rash or a Rojo Jones where he turns left and slaps you with it? Do you think that guy has to go and deal with a date for anybody that isn't high caliber? No. Dating is for people dating is like a job interview for pussy. For something, if we're being honest, I think a lot of guys, if they could just pay for it and get on with their fucking day, they'd be way happier. It's not good for business. It's not good for GDP. I mean, the entire date structure, even women working and all that crap, GDP, baby. More people working means more money in the system, more people buying stuff, women's standards get higher, which means men have to jump even higher, work harder. Then they got to compete against the government and everything else. People from other countries. Cost of living increases. Oh, it squeeze every fucking dime. And they're like, why is there a birth rate collapse? I don't know, look at every country where the cost of living's gone up exponentially on top of women's expectations going up exponentially. And surprise, your birth rate's collapsing. But take it back to the whole dating thing. Is dating really pleasant? I'm not saying it's horrible. Sometimes people they get together and they click and they're cool. But really, dating, much like going to the club, the bar, the tavern, I don't care whether it's a jacked up pickup truck at the tavern or an Escalade at the club. You're doing all this peacocking bullshit just to get pussy. That is it. Like the buying the drinks, the clothes, all this crap. Imagine if it was just a simple transaction, the same as, here's what I want to do today. Like, ironically, that guy with the 2 little lightsabers, the black dude with the lightsabers, and he's like, I'm having a great time doing this. Having a nostalgic, fun moment. Like, I'm replaying Secret of Mana right now on the Switch. I'm enjoying the fuck out of this. I'm like, I haven't played this game in years. Like, since probably 2012, way back when I used to have a computer that had a bunch of classic NES games on. I remember one dude came over and I was at a truck stop. I was in one of the kind of, office kind of spaces there chilling while I was waiting for a load. And this guy comes over. He's like, "You play Nintendo games on that? Like SNES games?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's cool, man." Like basically that's the only reason I had that laptop. That's it. I had it for basically classic games. Now, that made me happy. You know how many times I've dealt with some sort of like dating or dealing with nonsense? Not a lot, but like, because I ain't got time for that. My kind of rule on women's been like this: hey, if they want you, they'll make it known. It's not that you put forth no effort. It's that I'm not going to go out of my way for something. If something really wants you, it'll be there. It's kind of like, not like men are like a dog. Men will put up with so much shit, so much weirdness, and still be dopily happy. Women are like a cat. They kind of show up when they want to. They kind of have an attitude. Even when they're happy, they're kind of having an attitude. Not all cats are fucking assholes. But for the most part, a cat really tells you what it's thinking when it's walking away and its fucking tail's in the air, fucking mooning you. And that's a lot of women. If they want something, they're there. Now, coming back to when they want those genetics, and it's, the Thundercock brothers, Chad and Tyrone. And by the way, if any of you want to talk, you just got to be a subscriber for a minute. But if that's a bridge too far for you, I'm glad you're not talking. And if you don't stay on topic, I will time you out. I don't care if you subscribed. Like if you got something to say that's some random bullshit, you keep that to yourself. But yeah, I look at the situation as like, no, I think dating is generally, for most guys, it's not a completely unpleasant, but there's a million other things they'd rather be doing. The only reason we like, how much of us going to work is just for pussy? The jewelry industry, if we're being honest about it, completely for pussy. The wedding industry, completely for pussy. Why the car that functions just fine? You got a car, it runs fine, but that's not a good enough car. Why some nerd has to ruin your cell phone, redo the same damn applications but change them slightly, so he can get a supercar so Stacy will touch his peen, hopefully. Think about it for a second. Our entire economy, the entire world's economy, is derived off men working to get pussy. And is that a pleasant transaction? Like, when you realize how little it takes to live, I'm a testament to that. I can live off $200 to $300 a month. No joke there. I can live off $200 to $300 a month. I go drive truck, I make 80 to 100K. So it's just like, you think about that for a second. You're like, well, how could you retire by the age of 30? Well, because if you don't have a bunch of bills dragging you down, if you're not paying for a bunch of, like, you don't have someone sitting around, like, let's be honest about it. How much of a relationship in your late teens and your 20s is really just glorified prostitution? Sure, you're both happy together and it's consensual and all that shit, normal. But really, if you weren't paying that rent, if you weren't paying her cell phone bill, if you weren't doing all those things, do you think she'd stick around? That's when you know whether a bitch loves you. Whether she's a good woman or just like, I've seen cases where women will suffer for a man they really want. They will suffer. They don't ask shit of Chad and Tyrone. Yeah, Grandmaster Chad and Tyrone, like I said, it's like Domino's Pizza, 30 minutes or less. That pussy comes to them. Now, every other guy, it's like a fucking job interview. And more, it's becoming like when I go out and apply for a trucking job, the job doesn't bother me. The job's easy. As long as the trucks run and you got the right type of equipment, I'm down. It's dealing with the HR nonsense. That's the problem. And that is what relationships have become like, dating and whatnot. That is an unpleasant situation. And if dating is unpleasant, the only real reason, and women know this, and that's why, by the way, this is part of the reason that a lot of women have turned to complete shit. No offense, ladies, but you have. 24 people here, only one like, and by the way, thank you for that like. The reason women have turned to complete shit is because they're just relying off the idea that no matter how bad their action and behavior gets, Men will just come back because we got the pussy. No matter how fat or how many other guys' kids you have, men will just come back because we got the pussy. You see, when you really put that in perspective for a second and you really think about it, that's kind of crazy. It's fucking nuts. It's kind of crazy that people they expect guys just to put up with that shit. That's where I kind of think about it from another perspective. Yeah, back to the original statement of a guy on there, like when the woman's saying, do men really need this many lightsabers? And it's like 4 lightsabers. And the black dude comes on the screen on the shore and says, woman, I want more. I love these things. I'm having fun with these things, man. I'd rather do this than go on a date. You know, and his memories of being a kid is having a great time. And you think about that. And that's part of the reason when I say retirement by 30. If you're not bogged down taking care of somebody else's problems or living up to everybody else's nonsensical high standards, and they're not really high standards, in my opinion. Most of life is people just telling you what you need to buy and then putting a price on you being validated or you feeling happy. When you learn to shake off all that idea of you need other people's validation for satisfaction, what happens is that you can unlock basically everything. Everyone else has to carry a boulder, a backpack that's 150 pounds. You're carrying 10 pounds, but you're still making that 150-pound wage. You understand me? You're able to fly. They'll be stuck earthbound for the rest of their fucking existence. When I've talked about retirement by 30, it's not complicated. Or 7 to 10 years, whenever you start. I'd just like the world to know, women included, most of the suffering a man endures is because of women. But really, you bring it back down to, it's mostly because he can't conquer his own mind. He can't, put it in perspective. He can't look at the world and go, no, I don't have to deal with this. And I'll tell you something, that is one of the advantages Chad and Tyrone have. They don't have to jump through those hoops to get the pussy. The pussy comes to them. Those men can become greater. A lot of times the sad truth about a lot of Chad Tyrones is that because the pussy comes to them, they never develop into becoming greater men. They don't have to. The reason most men become great men is for the bitches. That's it. Some guys are truly driven by their passions. Like, they're like, I am going to become a great scientist. Or I'm going to become like not only a welder, but an artist of metal, Some guys are like, I want to hike all the way across. So there's some people are just driven, but most people, if I'm being honest about it, most people don't have a lot of drive. Most people they're just going along to get along. And let me tell you the curse of that statement. Most people who tell you to go along to get along, shit. Their flow is a stagnant pond. There ain't no flow. They ain't flowing down the river. They ain't going to get along. Go with the flow, man. Their flow is a stagnant river. It's been stuck in the same place, a muddy pool for years. And you just keep on swimming the same fucking cesspool. Now, a guy that actually is liberated from all these problems gets to actually enjoy his life and have fun with it. And the sad part is, I could say this is probably bad for the birth rate, but for a moment, just ask yourself, why do we need so many fucking people? Really ask yourself that. Why do we need so many people? Because we have a lot of people on welfare. Shit, we got people doing multi-million, billion-dollar welfare scams all over this country. That's where your tax dollars are going. It wouldn't surprise me at all if there's over $1 trillion of your taxes are just going to fucking, pissed away. How much of your work and your GDP is just there to keep everybody else afloat? Like you're trying to doggy paddle through life. And then they're like, oh, well, what are you going to do if you're not working? And I've had people say that. What do you mean you don't work? I mean, exactly what I say. I quit. Come April, it'll be 4 years since I've drove a truck. I did a remodel on my house up north. I did a lot of traveling. And yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to trucking. I'm going to have to be fresh meat, but because I don't need shit, I can live off almost nothing. I could literally beg enough change in a day to live a whole month. And it wouldn't even take a whole ass day in some cases. That is the power of the individual that is unburdened by society. And that would bring back to the whole dating thing. The individual that is unburdened can take the time to actually enjoy his life. You know? And so I look and think about it from this perspective when people talk about, you know, like, do guys really like dating? I'm not saying they hate it, but I would bet that if you really dig down, most of them would rather be doing something else. We're only doing it as an interview for pussy. Which then leads to some guys you're just fucked looks-wise and whatnot. But if you've got the ability to pump some iron, get in shape, put on a decent pair of clothes, let the women gravitate to you and focus on your own damn self. And the more you improve yourself, the more likely. But you might find you can get some gold diggers. So never put pussy on a pedestal. I'm just saying. If a woman truly cares about you, she won't ask you to put her on a pedestal. She will come to you and follow you. And I think that's what's lost in that. So yeah, dating is just generally an unpleasant situation. Anyways, Freedom Phil, like, subscribe, take it easy. Thanks for the comment. And peace.